Stream on edutainment for us. I hope you're doing fine. I was supposed to do my video from maybe 13:30, but I was unable to because I had already work at hand and I had to finish it. Yeah, so I am currently conducting my live stream now, and we are going to take about 30 minutes into this. So welcome and feel free to participate in our discussion. I hope you'll be comfortable with my enhancement or rather enunciation. I'm so happy that today during church, as we were having a sermon, most of you watched our sermon, and I hope God blessed you during the moment. Now, sometimes when you are a politician, we can have blackmail or some messages being sent to you. So, of course, Kalonzo is one of the aspirants for presidential position. Now, a lot of people have really been supporting or rather endorsing Kalonzo Musyoka. Yesterday, Kalonzo Musyoka happened to be at Berry Lacheng's funeral at Raila Odinga Kara Podi Farm in Bondo. And a lot of people actually were in support with Kalonzo Musyoka as he came out revealing a lot about how they were together with Raila Odinga, how they struggled together to acquire what they never got. And he indicated that he must be on the mission to save the country from whatever it is. Now, of course, today it came out that, not today, but yesterday still, there were those now who came out. I don't know whether it's propaganda or reality. And maybe I'll drop this to you, let you share or rather talk about it in your own perspective. So people came about to tell Kalonzo Musyoka that he should leave GACHAGUA, or if he doesn't, then he should forget about the presidential seat. Now, I may have to ask you whether you believe this is a kind of blackmail, a threat, or is it a reality? Do you believe that if Kalonzo is going to hold on to the united opposition, then he's going to lose it? Now, remember, recently when Kalonzo Musyoka had people, actually there were seats in Machakos, he won. Of course, Wavinya Ndeti has been part of him. Now, ODM is currently threatening Kalonzo Musyoka that if he continues to support, or rather walk around GACHAGUA, then he's gonna lose it. Now, sometimes if you're going deep into these aspects, you need to understand coded language. Of course, some people will say that's not the case and all that, but remember, Kenya has had so many sagas over years. Remember all the time that Raila Odinga never won. They kept calling him a lot of names, labeling him. Do we have a politician who is so bad and who is so good? I'm not so sure about that, because when I look around on leaders from different countries, then we tend to see maybe the worst of them, but still there is the best in them. However, when the worst overwhelms the best, then it becomes another story for a different day. So let's get to understand. Rigiji is tainted. He played a tribal politic and got caught. All right. So of course, that is your thought, Pet Smart. That's what he thinks. Now, he is tainted, but does that mean that if Kalonzo Musyoka associates with him, then he's gonna lose? Then who will be given? Maybe in my question, I would have to ask somebody. In case Kalonzo Musyoka is given a position to vie in the united opposition, would people still vote for him, or they will not, just because he's working with Kalonzo? He's working around with this guy, Rigiji. Now, again, I will ask you something, because currently, as far as people are talking about tribal politics, Mali is the queen. Thank you so much. Welcome on my channel. And I appreciate your presence here. Now, I may ask you one thing. Look at Farouk and look at Sudi. Even though they don't really stand a chance of what Rigiji had in past, but I want you to look at them and see whether they are also playing tribal politics or not. And maybe just other politicians in the house, because I've been doing a lot of analysis, and only that most politicians are tribal, even in their politics. But they try to be hypocritical as much as possible. They pretend. But when they go back to their people, especially if you try to understand what they're speaking in their mother tongue, whether it's Luo, Luya, Kalenjin language, Masai, Dwale with Somali, and whatever, most of these politicians play politics of tribe. But they are currently pretending and going by the narrative of the Gen Zs, because they understand now the landscape has turned and people are actually not focusing so much on tribal politics. Unfortunately, if the citizens don't see this, they think that there are those politicians who don't play tribal politics. But the reality is that we have very few politicians who don't play tribal politics. But it's very bad for Rigiji, because he was actually impeached on grounds of tribal politics. So with that, then it becomes a problem with him. Now, Pietman Gusan gives emojis. Thank you so much for being on my channel. And the fifth loco, do you want to fight? With who? To fight with who? I don't have any space for fighting. And if when I'm doing my martial arts or taekwondo, I don't even fight. I do defensive practice to exercise my defense ability. You get it? The fifth loco. So I don't have room for fighting, because what does fighting give anybody? Pet Smart says Kalonzo would be better positioned to guide his path independently than attaching Rigiji along. Kenyan politics in itself is tribal. There is need for a unifying factor. And that is why I said, yeah, a lot of politicians pretend that they are not actually conducting tribal politics. However, when you listen to them carefully, and when they go to different places, you will find that they are playing tribal politics. Atongari Richard says, hi. And the fifth loco says, I really want to fight you. It's my dream. Stop sleeping, then you'll no longer dream, okay? The fifth loco, just wake up because it's in the middle of the day, so that you don't sleep and dream. And then we can have a better situation with you. So let's look into the aspect of Kalonzo and see what people are telling him. And then we just analyze this. We want to understand, are people trying to blackmail him? Because the united opposition has already started the journey. And it's not just Kalonzo Musyoka who is attached to it. We have so many people within it. So when they now begin to address Kalonzo Musyoka and tell him that he should be, inclined to whatever it is, then I just don't understand. So let's check on this. Let's check on this from the videos that we saw in Bondo yesterday. All right? All right. So let's check on this.
Privately, they have attached one very clear condition. Cut off Rigathi Gachagua.
Okay.
South Africa, ndugu yangu Raila atakuwa angalau rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Presidential dream is alive, but ODM just served him a condition that could hit in one move.
Perhaps we only fear some of the friends that you keep, but otherwise, as a person, you are not a bad person.
By all indications, Kalonzo Musyoka is warming up for yet another shot at the presidency. This time, it looked like he might finally have the wind at his back, until ODM threw a spanner in the works. Publicly, they are willing to back him. Privately, they have attached one very clear condition. Cut off Rigathi Gachagua or count ODM out.
All right, guys. So let's get to actually have a discussion here. Let's get to have a discussion right here, because my question is, why should people give you condition? If ODM is clear that they really want to support Kalonzo Musyoka, why would they give him conditions? The only thing they should give him is a backing, so that he gets to have a way out and gain, leadership. Because I am asking myself, do they mean that all the leaders in ODM are clean? That actually in politics you have to choose, to choose those. I'm not even so, I can't get the words to use here, because the reality is that we have seen dirty people all over the places. Bongo Wedulung. Oh, hello, welcome. So as I was just going through that video, I'm trying to let you understand that this is some sort of blackmail in my understanding, because when they come out and they begin to question and then say that, why is it that they did not allow even Raila Odinga to become the president? Now ODM is giving a condition, but at the same time, we saw them in the celebration of 20 years. They already said that they are with the government or in government. And of course, the government currently is Ruto. It's not Kalonzo Musyoka. So I'm not so sure about this discussion that is coming up, and they are now trying to buy Kalonzo Musyoka and tell him that he needs to come to, associate himself with other people. Have they realized that maybe Kalonzo Musyoka has a landslide, or rather a lot of supporting than what the government has? Or why are they now turning just after they said the other day that for them, they are strongly supporting, the government? Then now they have come up and they are saying that they are backing up, they are ready to back up Kalonzo Musyoka, but only if he doesn't associate himself with some people, especially Rigiji. Now, Pet is saying the late Raila was blocked from the presidents multiple times because Kenyans feared that a Luo would have altered the political terrain for generations. And painfully, Ruto is learning from Uganda. Now, I may not understand this because were they scared that, does it not just confirm that there is political kind of sidelining in terms of politics, so that people believed in some tribes than others? That's what I would rather ask here. The reality here then would be showing us that we have some tribes that are trusted than others. And we have those which, people fear the changing of leadership, or rather governance of the country. And it's unfortunate because as far as we are saying that we are away from tribal politics, it means when someone vies, they'll still look at their tribe. Then now go down to other matters. You get it? Yeah. So, I don't know, Fifth Lock, I'm not even paying attention to you, because whatever you are saying is fight. I don't understand what kind of fight this one is. And you are saying she's trying to change the conversation. But of course, I've been talking about all that. So what do you think I should be changing conversation from? Which one? What did I focus on in the first place? Fifth Loco, you seem to be lost, okay? Yeah, so now we have Pet Smart. I won't be surprised if Ruto table an amendment to Constitution to remove term limits. But we have had this discussion for a long time, and of course we are just waiting, because what else do we do? We've had this discussion. We've even seen the companies that he's raising up trying to focus so much on, changing this, changing that, and changing that. You get it? So, of course, it's not a surprise. A lot of people understand that has been a discussion. To see something here and listen to what the bad girl.
The message wasn't delivered through a formal statement or a press release. It came during the burial ceremony of Beryl Odinga, the sister to Raila Odinga, where national grief briefly gave way to quiet political signaling.
There's nobody who came here who we call an enemy. They are all friends, and very good friends. The other time when I was talking in Nairobi, I told you in politics there are no enemies. Don't be cheated that because so and so don't like this person, therefore I should not like him because he's an enemy. There are no enemies. Because those people you think are on the wrong side, check these leaders.
All right.
I learned that ChatGPT works best.
So before we actually get to further discussions, you heard that from Ida. And Ida has stayed with Raila Odinga for years. Now he's saying, she is clearly saying that there are no permanent enemies in politics. But then the politicians come out and tell us something else about Rigiji or Kalonzo Musyoka or this other. So I don't understand what particularly they mean in whatever they are saying. You understand? So when I look at the discussion that Ida is trying to say there are no permanent enemies, especially in politics. These people meet, they have partnership in businesses, they have their own ways in which they find survival around the globe. They have so much going on, but they just confuse the citizens because they make them believe there is any war when there isn't, or there is any disagreement when there isn't. You get it? So we don't have to be fooled as citizens to believe that there is any, clear difference between anybody or maybe parties or something like that. Now I want us to look at a different scenario here. Let's look at this. Now, this guy came up to say that the problem he has is the friends that Kalonzo Musyoka has. And let's look at this.
He's coming back here on the day of our funeral. But Vice President Kalonzo, some of us are quite happy to see you. You see, many people have said things that Raila told them. But there's one thing Raila also told us about Kalonzo Musyoka. He told us not to scandalize, not to attack, and not to antagonize Kalonzo Musyoka. And that is why in the Senate, the deputy leader of minority in the Senate is still Senator Enoch Wambua, a member of Wiper. In the National Assembly, the deputy leader of minority is still the Honorable Ngui, a member of Wiper. Your Excellency, I hope today you will also tell us what you had planned with Raila, because inaonekana kuna kitu mlikuwa mmepanga.
That part was pure praise. But then came the twist. ODM has no issue with Kalonzo Musyoka except for the company he keeps.
Sisi hatuna ubaya na wewe mheshimiwa, and perhaps we only fear some of the friends that you keep. But otherwise, as a person, you are not a bad person.
It didn't take long for everyone in the room and online to figure out what he was talking about, or rather who he was talking about. Because in this context, friends doesn't mean golfing buddies. It means regarding GACHAGUA. And of course, GACHAGUA wasn't mentioned, and he didn't need to, because his long combative history with the Odinga camp is well documented.
Finally, sisi tuko sawa. Mzee Azimio tumemtuma huko bunge aonane na hao akina Medhu, awaambie shida yake ni gani. Mimi na president hatuna time ya kuongea na yeye. Hatuna. Ama nyinyi mnataka tuongee na yeye?
During his tenure as deputy president, GACHAGUA routinely made himself a full-time job for ODM's communication wing.
Huyu jamaa ya maandamano amezoea to force his way into government through violence.
He once bragged about laying traps in State House to block Raila Odinga from getting close to William Ruto.
Hiyo ikulu nimeweka mitego kila kona, kila pale, kila mahali nimeweka, na niko na watu wa kunipigia simu. Wakionekana tu karibu naambiwa. Kwa sababu uwezi mtu ameharibu serikali ine.
Now you realize that GACHAGUA is actually hated and blamed most because of what exactly he said about Raila Odinga. And of course, ODM cannot currently wish to be close to him. Now, he also kind of avoids Bondo. You realize during the funeral, he never stepped there. And even at the funeral itself, he never came. And finally, currently, he is not ready even to go. When recently Beryl Odinga was being buried, he never stepped there. Now, the history will judge us harshly. And they always say the internet does not forget. So we have all the documents about what Rigiji said in past. And unfortunately, now ODM is trying to use it. Do you think Kalonzo Musyoka will give in to this kind of things? Now, Kalonzo Musyoka, of course, came out to reveal some kind of bribery that he encountered, and he was tough on it. But before that, let's listen to one more statement that would really make the people in ODM don't want any association with Rigiji. And does this mean that the statement that Ida Odinga keeps saying that we don't have permanent enemies in, in politics is just a joke? So let's go back to it.
He painted Raila as a perennial spoiler in every administration and even called him a curse.
Huyu jamaa ya maandamano amezoea.
Bandit, lighting the path to just
to force his way into government through violence. In 1982, he masterminded a military coup against the government of President Daniel Arap Moi. Many Kenyans died and property was destroyed. He wanted to come to power through the back door. It was not possible. In 1997, when he stood for presidency, he was number 4. He lost. He brought chaos and violence, and President Daniel Arap Moi brought him to government and made him Minister for Energy. You know what happened? Akakuja kwa serikali ya Moi, akaisambaratisha. In the year 2007, Mwai Kibaki, our beloved president, defeated him hands down. He brought chaos, many Kenyans died, property was destroyed, and Kibaki brought him into government through Musumukate. You know what he did to Mwai Kibaki. In the year 2017, again, President Uhuru Kenyatta defeated him again. He brought chaos. He sowed fear to President Kenyatta. He brought him to government through the handshake. He came and destroyed the entire Jubilee agenda, made life impossible, confused our president, and made all projects to stall. 2022, we defeated him.
Now, it's so unfortunate in politics sometimes when you speak so vocally and then you lose it. Now, Rigathi Gachagua actually strongly talked with vehemence against Raila Odinga. And when finally the broad-based government came into place, of course, he had to be impeached, work together with Raila Odinga. And he has been flying on it, or rather hanging onto that as a point of contention, or rather a place to argue for his success. And now, yesterday, from the information that was delivered just by one of the ODM members, who is very fundamental, that means it's a discussion that many people have held. Now, do you think that Kalonzo Musyoka is going to wane away from Rigiji and have some people from ODM, or will he still insist on united opposition? We have already seen Kalonzo Musyoka moving around the country with Rigiji. So I doubt whether he will drop Rigiji, because if he does, then it will communicate very badly to the people. But anyway, maybe his judgment should be done. And what is your thought? Drop your comment, because generally Fifth Logo is just coming here to say he hates people talking about tribal politics. But tribal politics is there. So who is talking about it? We are analyzing and critiquing it. We are not actually supporting or whatever it is. And if you hate that, then don't watch it. Don't listen to it. Just stay off from those who are talking about that. But this is a scenario that is around us, and whether we like it or not, is all around us. So anyway, let's get to our second agenda. And the second agenda is in relation to what is happening in Congo. So Congo is having a serious eruption especially in South Kivu, that even though Washington has tried to negotiate for peace all this while, we have a lot of fights that are now coming up, with rebels killing so many people, and no peace deal ceremony going on as Trump had planned. So let's get to Congo and just watch some videos to show us the clashes that are going currently in DRC Congo. It's unfortunate that when these wars happen, a lot of people lose lives, innocent people, of course, and most of them are kids, children, and women. But then what should we do? What is happening? Because I've done a lot of analysis that has been dealing with these civil wars and different situations. Especially, I talked about Nigeria. I also talked about Sudan. And I've covered different other places. So currently, Congo is not safe at all. And who do we blame for this? Because the current battles going on are unfortunate for the citizens. So anyway, let's go into it, because I'm left with about 16 minutes to finish my video. Okay, guys. So in Congo, actually, we have had kidnapping situations. We have had looting. We have had burning. We have had sorts of violence that are ongoing. And of course, we have a group that is attacking people in Congo. So the fighting has flared just within hours. And there was a peace deal that was being conducted in Congo. But the rebels have gone on an attack, killing several people, causing a lot of mayhem in Congo and creating a situation that is unfriendly for everybody. So let's check into this again. So it's so unfortunate that about 40 plus, over 40 people have been killed in a fire that was set on a church. And it is possibly indicated that there's a radical group of Muslim people that burned that church down. And that has cost a lot of lives of the Congolese people just during the moment of a peace deal ceremony that was being conducted in Congo. Now, Congo has been one of the countries that experienced a lot of problems, and so many of the citizens are even in other nations, including Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, among others. And recently, it was cooling down. We had a peace kind of negotiation that was going, and it was thought that they are going to settle and have a peaceful stay. Unfortunately, things have turned, in a situation that is not very good at all. If we have 40 people who are killed in a blaze, an arson kind of situation, then brutality to the worst of it. Of course, if we can look at this, we realize that humanity, we are lacking humanity, and brutality is replacing the human aspect in us. And as we watch the streets of Congo, we've seen a lot of destruction that has gone on, people running around in confusion. And you clearly see that in the streets, there are more men because women possibly are the ones who are affected. And of course, they are the most people who go to churches and worship. And therefore, you can just try to, talk about what has happened here. So let's go and check further on this. So guys, although the rebel group, the ADF, have been operating from the borders, and of course they were formed in 1990s from Uganda during the desperate moment of Mobutu Sese Seko and all that. So it has happened that the rebel group has ties with ISIS, which is also ISIL, and they have been financed to actually conduct what they are doing in Congo. And now, in unfortunate situation is that maybe what we are seeing in Congo today may not end in Congo if countries are not careful, because the radicalism about forcing people to join Muslim and have one religion has been something we've been watching all along. So it's unfortunate that some people want to actually force some people to worship in their manner, even when they don't want to, even when they are not interested. And this is happening now in Congo. So we have to also ask ourselves, what is the solution? Because even if we talk about it without necessarily getting a solution to that, I don't just say, because now we realize Trump had intervened into a Congo situation, but still up to now, you can see the fatal aspect that has come out with that rebel group actually killing lots of people through arson. I just sometimes ask myself, if a group is serious about lives, why should they come to destroy and actually burn down churches just to have people dying when they are worshipping? I thought the entire thing is that we believe in God, and that's more important than even whether it's through Muhammad or Jesus Christ, you know. And therefore, it's irrational to see what we actually see happening there. No Pressure says, oh my God. Hey, what the hell? Thank you. But then, hey, it's tricky situation because that is something that may actually bring other consequences. But anyway, let's come to see what is happening in Congo, as you can actually see right there. And I feel so sorry. And at the same time, I feel like if I had the ability to help, if actually I had a solution, or maybe if we can pray against what is happening in Congo, that would be the best gift ever. Okay, so let's check on the last bit of Congo. Then I bring some more videos before we can go to another one that I had focused on, because I'm almost having only 8 minutes to finish my video and go back to my room to work on the, the task I am engaged currently. Thank you so much for watching. No Pressure, Karel, the Fifth Loco, Mario, Kalos, Pet Smart, and Bongi, Wedulangwane, Tongori Richard, Marlies, the Queen, and any other person who is watching. I'm so appreciative. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and continue liking the videos, commenting. You can watch my vlogs, my church moments, and any other. I have lots of them. Every day I drop at least 2 videos. For today, I've already dropped 2, so I'm going to drop another in the evening, especially on social life. But then on my other channel, that is Life Saga TV, I'll be doing a political video. So let's go and check on this. Okay, meanwhile, are you aware that in Benin, there is an attempted coup that happened yesterday? Benin. Now we have moved from Guinea-Bissau and we are in Benin. And if you're not aware, in Benin, there is a claimed coup that was conducted. And now I just don't know what is happening in Africa, because we started from Nigeria to Sudan to Tanzania to, of course, Uganda. Currently, there are things going on that are not very well. And we saw there is Guinea-Bissau and there is another one. Okay, so let's check on Benin and see what happened there before we can go to the death of MPs.
Get back to that breaking news this hour, this attempted coup in Benin. Joining us from Accra in Ghana, of course, is Adam Agir. He's a political analyst and former director of communication at ECOWAS. Adam, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what you know here.
Okay, what we know is that in neighboring Benin, because I'm very close to Benin, I'm speaking to you from Ghana, military attacked the house of the president, who is Mr. Patrice Talon, and there were heavy gunfire shot against his house. And we saw also some military who spoke on the television in Benin, Cotonou, the capital, and they said that the president was ousted and replaced by a military with the establishment of a Salvation Organization Committee to take over the reign of the country. The problem is, this is not something that surprised anybody, because we have been hearing a lot of tension in that country. Some of the opposition members have been arrested for years and maintained in jail by the president in place, Talon. And also, there is a process towards a new election next year or 2027 to replace him in power. He has already designated somebody to take over from him, from his party, his current Minister of Finance, who is Mr. Romuald Wadani, and he had managed to eliminate key people from the leading opposition party of former President Mr. Yayi Boni. So there was really a lot of tension within the country, and even there had been a coup attempt by close friends of the outgoing president. So nobody is surprised that the military came out and tried to do this attempted coup. It is not.
All right, guys. So in Benin, the military actually have said that all borders in the country have been closed and therefore nobody can go in. And political parties have been also suspended. And of course, from the report you've heard right there, we are being informed that the army claimed to have overthrown President Talon. And therefore, that is an attempted coup, which means it did not mature. But anyway, let's check more into details to understand what happened right there and the ongoing situations in Benin. Meanwhile, I'm almost finishing because I'm supposed to share something about the two MPs who died in Kenya yesterday and today.
You in Benin, in the 1970s, Benin was known for a hub of military coup.
Adama, the thing here is also, I mean, as you mentioned, Patrice Talon was due to step down. The next presidential election is slated for April, and his replacement, or his nomination for his replacement anyway, was already set. So, I mean, with the idea that he was going to be stepping down in just a few months, it must be a surprise that the military or factions within the military have acted in this way.
Yes, because of course everybody had the feeling that it was going to be a smooth transition, because really in economic terms, in terms of infrastructure, Benin Republic was doing marvelous. It was achieving great strides towards its economic development. Myself, I was supposed to go after tomorrow to meet key business people interested in distribution of petroleum products in West Africa coming from Europe. But this is no longer possible. Why this has happened? Maybe the fact that actually this transition from Mr. Talon to a newly elected president next year was not seen as something as genuine. People believe that is the Medvedev-Putin type of transition, where Mr. Talon will put a figurehead in his place and continue running the show from.
All right, so you saw Guinea-Bissau recently. We had a coup that was conducted there and it was successful. Now here, Benin, they attempted a coup, and of course the factions within the army created a situation where this coup was attempted. And of course, reports say that Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigre led the coup attempt in early hours of Sunday. So of course, looking at that, then it means that no business is being conducted currently in Benin. And even though elections were supposed to be carried out next year, you know, the coup, the army fear that the figure that is going to be placed will only be honorary, but playing the politics of the former President Talon. And at the same point, they really don't see the success of this. However, when a coup is conducted in a country, they bring some downgrading aspects alongside them. So let's hope for the best for Benin. But meanwhile, as we wait for whatever will be said, and of course, we understand that currently, of course, so many things have been stalled in Benin, just as you had a report from this guy. Meanwhile, in Kenya, our two MPs have had to have died. One of them is, of course, nominated MP from DPA, and then another from ODM. So yesterday, one of them was reported to have died. Then today, there was a report of an ODM MP dying. So let's just get to that and see something behind this. So we have the nominated ODM MP, Joseph Hamisi, who died in a road accident. But away from that, we had an earlier report of another MP who died. So let's check through that.
At Stanbic, we back bold ideas. We finance projects that build industries. The Member of Parliament, Denar Joseph Hamisi, has died. Hamisi died in a road accident in Karen, Nairobi. The first-time National Assembly member lost his life just meters from his home along Nandi Road in Karen. According to witness accounts, the Member of Parliament lost control of his vehicle while negotiating a sharp bend and crashed into a tree. Our reporter Emily Chebet has more. The twisted wreckage now lying at the current police station tells the story of a fatal dawn crash that took the life of nominated
Zimbo
Member of
Limbo,
Parliament
welcome.
Dena Joseph Hamisi. He was nominated to Parliament by the defunct Amani National Congress Party ANC. It is here at this sharp bend in Miotoni Nandi Road in Karen, a short distance from his home, that the MP was fatally injured.
Kwa around 6:23 gari ilitoka pande ile mbio, ile speed ilikuwa nayo kuruka ile pambu, ilikuwa assignment yangu pale. So kutoka nje nikajua hiyo kupinduka hataweza kupinduka, either ingie na hiyo ukuta yetu ama kama itamsaidia mainesa roll pale, lakini venye nilitoka already ilikuwa imeroll imekonga hiyo mti.
Passers-by and witnesses rushed to assist the legislator, whose vehicle had smashed into a tree. At this point, it appeared he was injured.
Kwenda pale kitu ya kwanza alikuwa already ashalala, damu inatoka pande ile. So hatukuweza kuongea na yeye ile. Ndio niite wenzangu wakuje.
So rest in peace, Joseph Hamisi. And yesterday, of course, we had a death of another. This is an accident case. So, of course, that is the nominated MP, Hamisi Joseph. And let's just get to see, before that, we had another. Yesterday, there was a report about an MP that died. And I just want to get that video. I don't know whether I'll get it. If I don't get it, then you'll forgive me. But there was another MP who died yesterday. Maybe it's Zimbo Limbo says RIP, one of for the fans. Thank you. Thank you for the message. Manvan, you cannot go to somebody's channel and you tell them to shut up. Just like you cannot even go to Citizen and tell Citizen news anchors to shut up, so can't you tell me to shut up, okay? So just cool your tempers. You can grab something around you. If it's water, you can take water and cool your tempers. But then ordering me to keep quiet, I don't think I have any room for that, okay? Yeah, so of course, before the death of Dena Joseph, there was already death of another, and I'm just looking for the video into that before I can rest here. So David Masinde, I'm a reactor or a commentary, right? Yeah, I'm a commentary, not a news channel, okay? And that is why you can see I'm commenting about some things, but then bringing in others. Of course, when you see what happened in Congo, I've mixed